Hey, welcome to VBAtutorialcode.com. In this video lesson, I'll show you how to use workbooks and sheets and how to copy from one workbook to another workbook from sheet to sheet in VBA. If you're unsure of how to get to the screen, watch my lesson 1, Visual Basic Editor. Right now we're in workbook, book 1. You can see the name up here, book 1, on the top of the workbook. You can see the book1.xlsm in the Project Explorer in the Visual Basic Editor. So I'm just going to start stepping through the code. So this first line of code, workbooks.open file name, it'll open up book 2. We're going to be opening up book 2 from My Documents and the Windows Explorer. We're going to be opening up this workbook, book 2. So over here, if you want to know how to get the file path for whatever file you're opening, you just click up here, press Ctrl-C, and just paste that here. And then you could just write book 2, and then there are different Excel file types. You got macro-enabled worksheet, which ends with .xlsm. You got the Excel worksheet, which ends with .xlsx. You got this one, .xls, .csv, etc. So if you don't have this view, you could just right-click, go to View, and yours might look like that. Go to View and go to Details. And if you don't have file extension over here, you can right-click up here, go to More, and then select File Extension, press OK. And if you're still unsure, you can just right-click on the file, go to Properties, and then here's .xls right there. And basically, you could just, right now we're going to be opening up book 2 from book 1. I'm going to press F8. So now book 2 is open. Now here's how you can just activate different workbooks and then start working on them. So we're going to go back to book 1. Notice how book 1 is in view now. We're going to go to book 2. We're going to set in book 2, we're going to set range A1 equal to 1. I'm going to press F8. There it is. A1 equals 1 now, right over here. And now we're just going to close active workbook book 2. This is activated now, so we're going to be closing book 2 because it's active. And if I put false here, then it closes it and it doesn't save the changes. So the next time it's open, that 1 won't be in range A1. So now we're just going to open up book 2 because we just closed it out. And notice how A1 doesn't have the value 1 in it anymore. So we're going to set it to 1 again. And we're going to go to active workbook.close true. So now when we close the workbook, it'll save the changes. This is how you close the workbook and save changes. You get all this code on my website, by the way. So go to workbooks.open file name. We're going to be opening up book 2. And notice how that 1 is there. That's because we closed it out and we put true there. So now we're just going to open up book 3.xls. We're going to open up book 4 from the Windows Explorer over here. Book 4.csv. Here's how you just open up all the different format types, file types, book 4. Notice how book 4 is open now. So we're going to close that out. Any workbook that you open, it becomes the new active workbook automatically. So if you open up a workbook and you're activated on book 1, and you open up book 2, you're now activated on book 2 automatically. So let's just open up workbook 2. It becomes active. Notice how sheet 1 is there. Anytime you save a workbook, wherever you are currently selected and whatever sheet you're currently on, it'll save that as the position. So if you want to select a new sheet, here's how you select sheets in VBA. Let's just go to sheet 2. Select. You can actually rename sheets. Right click on it, go to rename, and I'll just rename it as 1. But let me just rename it as sheet 2 because we're gonna press F8 over here and select sheet 2. And here we got range A1. And this line of code, Excel to right, it's like holding Control Shift right. And then this is like holding Control Shift down. It just stops at the first blank space. And we're just gonna copy. So here's Excel type visible. That'll only select visible cells. So if you have a filter, it'll only select everything that's included in the filter. It won't select the hidden cells. Watch my advanced filtering YouTube video for more information. So we're just going to selection.copy. We're going to copy from book 2. We're going to go over to book 1, activate. We're going to select sheet 1 and range A1, and we're going to active sheet.paste. Notice how when you use active sheet.paste, it'll actually keep the formulas from the initial place that you copied it from. So in book 2 we copied from here and it had formulas in there. If you ever want to copy something over to a different workbook and then not keep the formulas and you just want the values, because if you're using referential cells and it's referencing other cells that you're not copying over and you just want to keep the values in order to avoid errors, then I'll show you how to do that right now. There's a different way to paste instead of active sheet.paste. So right now I'm going to go to cells.select, just selects all the cells, and selection.clear contents is like press and delete on the keyboard. It doesn't delete the rows, doesn't delete the columns, it'll just clear it of any values. So now we're going to go to book 2, sheets 2, select range A1 to C5. Here's how you select range A1 to C5. You could do A1 to like C150, and it'll select like all the way A1 to C150. That's what that would look like. So you could select like specific cells that you want if you get the data a certain way. So selection.copy, and we're going to go to book 1, and we're going to paste special. We're going to paste special values. It's like right clicking and then paste specialing values. It's like doing that basically. So now notice how the values are here instead of just the referential formulas in book 2. So we paste special in book 1 and we just kept the values by doing this instead of active sheet.paste up here. That's the other way to paste. So we're going to cells.select and we're going to clear the contents. We're going to go back to book 2. And we're going to select columns A through J. And columns are the vertical stuff. So we got column A, column B, column C, column D, etc., etc. So here's how you select different columns. It'll go when you select the different columns, it goes all the way down, like all the way to the bottom of Excel. And so you just go to copy and go to book 1 and select range A1, just paste columns A through J. And we're just going to clear the contents. We're going to go to book 2 and we're going to select rows 1 through 12. Notice that it selects 1 through 12. And it goes all the way to the right. It'll include everything. So here's row 1, here's row 2, row 3, row 4, etc. So row 1 through 12. We're just going to copy that and go to book 1 and paste it. So basically that's how you copy and paste from workbook to workbook, open workbooks, close workbooks, and save changes, close workbooks, and not save changes. Here's how you could add a sheet after all of the sheets. So it'll count how many sheets there are, and the sheet name will be 4. So I'm going to press F8. Notice how it added a sheet called 4. So I'm going to press break and just, we're going to run through the code right here. So I'm going to press F8, and it's going to add a sheet called 4, and it's going to get an error. You can't have sheets that have the same names. I'm going to press end, and let's just add a sheet after the whatever sheet. Press F8, and it'll add a sheet after there, sheet 5. Thank you for watching my video. Check out my other videos.